In all of professional baseball, there is only one all-female broadcast team, and that's a broadcast team for the Single-A Salem Red Sox. They are a Boston Red Sox affiliate. They play in Virginia. Melanie Newman is the play-by-play announcer of this all-female broadcast team. Melanie, thanks so much for joining us. How did all of this come about?
No, thank you guys. I've been in baseball for over 10 years now. This is actually my fifth season being in a booth and having a play-by-play or a broadcasting capacity outside of the sidelines. I finished last season with Double-A Frisco with the Rangers, and then the week that pitchers and catchers reported this year, I found myself without a job. So was looking around trying to find out if there was anybody who still had some openings, what was going on, and it turned out that Salem's broadcaster that they had just hired left and took a different opportunity and the position reopened. So I immediately reached out to them. Susie and I have actually been friends on social media for a while. And I reached out to her after she had told me good luck when she heard I was a free agent and said, so about that good luck, I hear there might be something in your office that could work out for us. And the rest just fell in pretty seamlessly.
Well, when you're trailblazing, often you have to be twice as good, and the reviews have been rave. I just want to hear your work. I mean, you've got a game tonight. So what are you doing right now? Take us into your job, what you're up to right now to prepare.
Yeah, so we're getting set for a doubleheader. Rain has kind of plagued the Carolina League this season. So what I did was I started last night after the game, writing the game recap, starting to cut video footage to put together a highlight reel for our guys, and then working on game notes. It's about a 10, 15-page packet of ins and outs that includes everything from hit streaks, how guys have been against particular teams, and of course breaking down our starting pitcher, but also adding the personal touches. Like our starter last night, his biggest reason for being in this game is his daughter Dana, and including that he just got a new glove and it's her name on the outside inscription instead of his own. But making sure that you bring in the flavor of both sides with the notes and the numbers. And then once all that's done and it gets distributed to the rest of the league and the media that needs it, just kind of digging into any tangents that I can find that I really want to explore while we're on air together. I mean, it's a chance to tell people something they haven't heard before. So we're in Wilmington right now, and it's named after Judy Johnson Field. So I Googled it last night, thinking it would be, a female who had contributed a lot back. Well, it's actually a very famous Negro League player. So I've pulled up about 4 or 5 different pages of information on him, and I'm going to dissect that, put together a little bit of what I can talk about on air with that tonight. But just really finding anywhere that we can explore with both players on both sides, and then, the city that we're in.
Melanie, women have made tremendous strides in sports broadcasting here in the last couple of years, especially in terms of calling games, whether it's play-by-play or serving as a color analyst. How has the challenge been for you, and what do you ultimately hope for in doing this?
At the end of the day, I just want to be involved. At one point, I thought that I would be a studio host, kind of similar to what you guys are doing. But then opportunities presented themselves. And once I got a taste of sideline reporting, being live, the challenge of building relationships with teams so that you can get the stories that people don't know, I was addicted. From there, as I started to grow and had the opportunity in Mobile in 2014 with my partner, Justin Baker, and he said, do you want to go on air? Do you want to give a shot at calling play-by-play and analyzing games? Okay, why not? So as far as where I want to go from here, I'm a pretty open book in that area. Just the day in and day out of being with these guys, it's a privilege, and that's something that I would love to continue to pursue. I actually have involvement in several other sports as well, and those have been great. Baseball is just my one true passion. The fans have even gotten better. I mean, I still remember 10 years ago when I first got into this, Twitter was still a fledgling thing, and there was a lot of negativity. There was feedback. There were trolls kind of, out of nowhere. And now, like, especially after this year and having this announcement that I was going to be named the #1 and the head of broadcasting, the good so far outweighs the bad, that the bad is laughable. I mean, granted, I've gotten a thicker skin in the last decade, but it's almost like 1 in every 100 comments might be mad. And at that point, it's so ignorant that you just can't even pay attention to it. So it's been a really awesome coming of age just for our society as a whole. And I mean, I don't even think that applies to my job or my gender. I think that's across the board. We're realizing a lot more roles in the workplace are less gender specific than we previously thought they were.
Well, broadcasters tend to have a personal style. Of course, Vin Scully has that sort of curious grandpa vibe. There's a beloved duo here in New York that people love for the Mets. How do fans experience a game with you? What is that spin that you put on the game? Obviously, in the minor leagues, you've got a bit more of a chance, less eyeballs, a little bit more experimentation.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And guys like Vince Scully are absolutely amazing. I actually worked, Wayne Randazzo was a predecessor of ours in Mobile. So we're very proud of him and very happy that he's up in New York. But taking little bits and pieces of everything that I see through other people, listening to a game, and even if it's just one particular word or a phrase, and going, okay, I really like that. I haven't heard that before, and writing that down and taking it. But again, it comes back to the fact that my first live experience has been and is in sideline reporting. So I always had that emphasis of the human interest side of things and wanting to cultivate that a little more. So like we have Torey Lovello's son here with us, and a lot of people want to talk about his relationship with his dad and growing up with a big league skipper. And, you know, he was once part of the Boston family, but Nick finally opened up about his mom and his relationship with her and how close they are. So while he's at an at-bat getting to talk about that on air, and the comments that I get from people who said, you know, I never knew that, because it's those emotional bridges that you're able to connect with people when they recognize that they share something in common with a player, whether that's a background or a memory or just a little piece that sticks to them. But getting to cultivate that and giving our fans a reason to tune in, and not just because, you know, Jaron Duran at one point was with us and he was hitting 423 and just destroying everything he saw, but because they feel like they know these guys. They feel like they can connect with them. That's my favorite part by far of being able to be on air.
And Melanie, how amazing is it that your broadcast partner's name is Susie Cool?
So the first question a lot of people think is her name isn't real. And I always tell them, no, she was born Suzanne Cool. That's it. She's actually now shortened it to just Suze, S-U-Z. But it's like her parents knew what they were doing. And for her, I mean, she's loving getting to explore the baseball industry and the different pieces that she can be a part of. She has a really big hand in marketing right now. And again, she's getting her feet wet and starting to discover the whole play-by-play role too, as you guys saw. Welcome to minor league baseball. But
Quick reaction, Melanie. Nice job.
Yeah, exactly. I've got it. I got it. We're working through it here as we've got rain pouring out of the sky right now. But she's really been taking advantage of everything. And again, the name just, it kind of speaks for itself.
All right, Ale, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck on this interesting career path as you make your way through the minor leagues. Have a great game tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.